Hey, you're listening to Don't Lie to Your Life Coach podcast with Kim Arrington. I'm Kim Arrington. I'm a life coach, a weight loss coach, an author, and a badass passionate about helping you connect back to your most authentic self. Join me here each week so I can coach you on how to think all those juicy thoughts that get you feeling your absolute best and taking some big ass action. Coaching has changed my life, and it can change your life too. I'm here to give you real life solutions to create a life you'll love. Because the truth is, boo, you ain't just got problems, you got options. Hey. Hello. Hi. How you doing? Hey y'all, I'm looking at my lighting. So we've reached fall here in North Carolina and the coloring of light is totally different. And so me and my ring light might have to have a conversation. I don't know. Y'all. So today I was in session and I saw my phone go off and I couldn't see, my phone was too far away to see like who was texting. I really didn't care because I was in session. And I ended my coaching session, which was incredible. By the way, I don't know why y'all don't hire a life coach. You can do like a million years of work in 12 sessions. You can do 9 million years of work in 20 plus sessions. Okay. I don't know why y'all don't do it. But anyway, if you're watching me, if you haven't subscribed yet, let me get off the subject. I haven't said this in a while. If you haven't subscribed yet, go ahead and subscribe on the iTunes, on the Spotify, on the Amazon, Google Podcasts, or if you're watching me on YouTube, subscribe and tell a homie. I always say, don't keep good shit to yourself. Okay. So I'm going to cough again. I'm drinking my favorite sweet tea. Okay, so today's topic, y'all, I was minding my business. Robert Ohotto, who is, I'm going to mess it up. let's call him an intuitive, right? He's a teacher. He's all these things. He does a lot around archetypes, him and Carolyn Mace, and around astrology. Minding my business on a Friday. It was a chill Friday. And he pops up on Facebook and he's like, hey, I'm going to do a Facebook Live on Overgiving. And I was like, I mean, it was so good. It was so good. And it got me to thinking about overgiving. It made me go down a rabbit hole of overgiving. And I was like, oh, part of the reason why I've been pissed off and the whole world has been pissed off is, we always hear about how we don't give. So many of us are overgiving with our time, overgiving with picking up the phone. We don't want to pick it up, overgiving with our money, overgiving with our thoughts, ruminating about things, overgiving. Overgiving does not have to be just a physical thing given to a person. It can be you and my thoughts. I'm worried about you. Like overgiving is getting us. So I made a couple of notes and I decided that this needed to be a for sure podcast topic. Okay. I don't know why it was hard for me to find my notes, but hey. I stopped my story. So I was minding my business in my session. I saw my phone go off and it was one of my former clients. And they were telling me how they just got a job. They're moving to a city. He and I worked on him letting go of overgiving. It was as if the overgiving gods were saying, use him as an example. I'm going to change some things about it because I don't need you in his business. Okay. But basically he was an educator. He left the profession after suffering I'm just going to call it work injury after work injury, administrators who were not supportive. He also worked in, let me not give it away. He worked in a way where he worked with parents too in an extracurricular activity. I mean, it was a lot. Giving. He wasn't eating at times. When we get home, he'd have 12+ hour days. He was burnt out. He was over it. He decided to leave. He had been working to get a job and move to a new town. He sent me a video of him talking about the new job he's got, new town. One of the things we had to work on the sessions, I was like, look, you probably ain't gonna make this here. Where do you really want to be? And he said where he wanted to be, and we worked on that. I mean, I coached the fuck out of him, okay? I really did. And this is what he said to me in the text message, because, you know, I used a million exclamation points, but he said, wouldn't be in the spot without you. You're good at what you do. You will never get enough recognition. Yes, I will. I will get so much recognition for what you give to others. And yes, I know you don't need it, but it's true. He is absolutely damn right. I told y'all, coaches, 1,000,000 years of growth in 12 sessions, invest in yourself. I'm so proud of him because I just would say to him, you can't give up. You just got to decide this is going to happen. He sent me a video, so happy. And I love it, love him, and I'm wishing him the best. And I can't wait. You know what my favorite things do? Is to go visit my clients in their new towns. I'm going to go see him, okay? Overgiving. I could have named this session, you're mad as fuck because you're overgiving. Y'all don't even know you're mad about overgiving. That's how much you're overgiving, okay? You're making everyone's life miserable because you're overgiving and you're pissed about it. You're miserable as hell because you're an overgiver. My loved one isn't really mad at me or the world. They're mad because they are overgivers. When you overgive, you have nothing left. Here's how it's supposed to be. I give to myself, in the overflow, I choose where I want that to go. That goes against the golden rules. That goes against everything I was learned in kindergarten. That goes against everything we hear, your religion. And I'm not talking, y'all, the selfish folks don't listen to my podcast. They're busy taking from the overgivers. Don't do that thing of, I don't know if I'm an overgiver. If you're here, you probably are. If you identify as a woman, you probably are. Although I know plenty of male overgivers too, okay? So it may end up being 2 podcasts. I'm gonna look at my time and I might be like, skirt, let's make this into a second one. But we really gotta talk about this because it's killing you. It is killing people. Overgiving is killing people. Working a job, giving all you got to the job, you know, it's killing people. So who are you overgiving to? Well, it damn sure ain't yourself. Your kids, your best friend, your friends, your boss, your coworkers, your spouse or partner, okay? Here are some things to ask yourself. Are you going over the are you doing extraordinary measures for other folks and not yourself, okay? Are you paying rent for somebody? Are you having someone live with you? Are you picking up the phone when you don't want to? The I don't want to is the big part of that. I'm paying rent for someone, but I'm trying to scramble and make ends meet here. Or not even that. I'm paying rent for somebody that I don't want to. When we overgive, we're basically telling the other person that we don't believe in their abilities to do what they need to do for them. It's not cool. So let's chop it up. You're overgiven because you're anxious. You know that moment, this is from the Kim Arrington playbook, where you're out to lunch with someone and the bill comes and the server says, is it together or separate? And that anxiety you feel of like, oh my gosh, well, you know, by the way, not everybody feels that. Should I grab the bill? You got to practice saying, no, I'm not grabbing the bill. Or if you want to grab the bill, maybe pre-deciding it, but that you don't have to grab the bill to show you're a good person. This anxiety around, if I don't do more than what is expected, what does that say about me? That whole do 150% that we cram down people's throats in our society doesn't work. It doesn't work. That what would they think about me? You know, how will I feel good if I'm not doing for others? You can't do for others, but you do for yourself first. Okay. Give you an example. I was pet sitting and the doggies were ready to go out. And I was like, nope, I'm going to brush my teeth first. I needed a little thing to do for myself first. Or nope, I'm going to meditate first before I gave to the others. Okay. This is really important, especially if we have children or anyone, even we're caretaking for a parent, you still have to build in those things for yourself. And this is why I always tell y'all going to a coach is so good, because you might be too myopic. You might not be able to see it because you're so in the thing, but your coach ain't in the same thing that you're in. So they can definitely see it. This part of the biggest part of what I do as a coach is show people all their options, right? Help them think through those options, and they doing a little experiment and try this or try that, okay? You're overgiving because your religion told you to. I said I was gonna stop saying y'all get mad at me when I like, you know, because I say that sometimes. Y'all get mad at me when I say this. You're overgiving because your religion told you you don't turn a brother away. you know, do what you can. And I have to be honest with you. Maybe you decide the amount you're going to allocate for the month, or you decide the service you're going to do. But recently, someone, you know, tagged me in a post about donating to their kids, you know, fundraiser. And I've done that so many times, and I love this woman, but I had to practice not giving in that moment, because once I was like, oh, part of the reason you're pissed is because you're overgiving. I will talk about this later, but I got to practice the pause. Before I say yes, I need to figure out if it's something I can do, if it's something I want to do. And a good way to think about it is, if you got a big bill or you have something coming up and you can't quite do it, you may need to be putting your resources to that thing. Because what happens is, when we overgive in one area and we feel anxious or upset or mad about it, we overdrink, we overeat, we overspend, we find a way to get ourselves back on the back end. And it's almost like two strikes, right? The first strike is I did something I didn't want to do, or I really couldn't do, and I made it happen. The second strike was I found a way to make myself feel better. And I noticed I didn't say drinking, I said over drinking. Okay. Notice I didn't say eating, overeating, overspending. When you put that over in front of it, you're going further than what you need to go. Okay. You're over giving because it's a habit. You've done it for so long. This is what I tell my weight loss clients. You know, my weight loss clients come to me and they say, I don't know why I can't stop eating. And we spend a lot of time figuring out all the things in their lives. But what I say to them that gives them a little relief is, you're not overeating because you're an asshole. You're overeating because it's a habit. When something else goes shitty in your life, you use food to deal with said shit. And that's what happens. When you are feeling some kind of way about something else, or when, you know, you just want a quick pop of feeling good, you try to do a thing for a person. Now, there's no problem with doing a thing. But when we keep doing the thing and we do it over and over and over and over and over and over, and we have to do it this and we have to do it over there, it's almost like you don't have a cap to your giving. And what I mean by that is, like, it's okay to take the neighbor a pie because their mom passed away. But then if you're baking whole pies for the whole community, or you're like, oh, I have to do this, I have to do that, you're not getting your time for your workout. You're not getting your time to just rest, literally rest, take a nap when you want. If you're always filling up your time and you're filling it up with doing other things for other people, you got to look back at that relationship with yourself and say, what is going on here? Because something is. Okay. It's a habit. The great thing about a habit is you can overwire. You can rewire your habits that aren't serving you with habits that can and will. It will take time. It will take practicing. It will take frustration and doing it anyway. It will take you doing it when you don't want to do it. That's how habits happen that change your life. You're overgiven, not because the goodness of your heart, but because you want to be in control. And we ain't talking about Janet Jackson's control, okay? We're talking about you want to be in control of how you're perceived. Oh, she's selfless. I hate the word selfless, y'all. You hear that? I hate it. I hate the word selfless. Seriously. He wants to, he is such a good person. We can't say a bad word about him. Now, I am part of the bad news bears. I'm like, yo, if no one is saying a thing about me, there's no contrast about me, then I might be going too far in the direction of people pleasing. Y'all know I got an episode, people pleasing ain't pleasing you. I have an episode about boundaries with your own damn self. You might need to look at why you need to control the way other people see you, and or why you need to control the situation of just giving and not receiving. You're over giving because you think you have to work for love. And the truth is, you do have to work for love. If you're in a dysfunctional relationship, you do have to work for love. If you're trying to love somebody who is trying to exit stage left from the situation that you're in, you are overworking for love. If you are trying to cajole, beg, make a person be with you, first of all, let's be honest, that ain't attractive. When you had to beg someone to be with you, then that person is like, well, what's the value of being with them if they're begging me to be with them? Like, I want to be with someone who feels good about themselves, feels confident. Just having a conversation with my friend, and she was discussing, this whole thing about, I'm gonna bring it up again, weight, and women feeling like they don't feel good until they lose a certain amount of weight and whatever. And we both agreed. We were like, these are women who date men. We're like, yeah, the man takes cues about how you feel off of how to feel about you, off of how you feel about yourself. So if you feel good about yourself, then the man feels good about you. And if he doesn't, he probably ain't the man for you. Okay. If you are working for love, and you're going to be like, but wait a minute, I think relationships are work. Yes. Relationships can be work. But if you feel like you have to give in order to receive, that is not a reciprocal relationship. Also, let's be honest, y'all, going after a completely reciprocal relationship can be a hot damn mess too. Just because I do this doesn't mean that this person has to do that. There's a natural way of like, oh, he did this for me, so I need to do this. You don't gotta do something for every 3 things the person does. There's a natural like back and forth that can happen when you're relaxed. So sometimes when you're feeling really like, oh, like, what are they thinking? Ask the question. Just had a session with a client who was like, yeah, I had all these things knocking around in me, and I finally asked the question, and I had to remind her, you're a person who does that now. She was like, well, I don't do that. I was like, well, you just said you did it. So you're a person who does that now. I think in that session, she needed to hear me remind her to give herself credit for all the numerous ways she's changed. Okay. You don't got to work for anybody's love. That's whack. There is somebody who will love you just because of you, and it ain't got shit to do with the work you do. All right, I kind of hit on this one, that you're overgiving because you want for people to see you as wifey material or husband material, or as better than their ex. Like you want to control how they perceive you. Like you listen to all, this is what I used to do. I would listen to all the things the person didn't like and become the thing that they wanted, until I was so angry I couldn't see straight. I don't do that no more. But so many of us do. We listen, not for understanding, but to take mental notes of how to do it differently because of our own traumas in childhood. I don't want to feel the way I felt, so I'll do anything to prevent that. That's why you overgive. You're overgiving because you learned how to overgive from another mad overgiver. Child. Some of us, I saw something on social media. I don't remember if it was the ticker, the talker, the gram, the book, but it was basically a Black woman talking about how she was not proud of her mother and her grandmother for holding together their households and going above and beyond. She saw how that was generationally, kind of a generational curse, and how not taking care of themselves resulted in poor health and poor choices, and it affected them deeply. And I was like, yes, more of that. You learned how to overgive because there was another person who was angry, resentful, pissed off, irritable about having to overgive. And you learned the pattern and you created the habit, and then you began to emulate the thing that you saw. Was in session last week with a person, super accomplished professional woman. And I was like, well, tell me about how your daddy. And she could see the patterns of her not taking time from herself in the way her dad patterned that back to her. And I was like, that's a habit. We can do something about that. You're overgiving because you're terrified to receive. You don't want to wait to receive. You don't want to feel uncomfortable. You don't know what it's like to receive. You don't want to feel vulnerable about receiving. You don't know what reciprocity is if it bit you on your big toe. You are terrified to have to wait because you view receiving in an unhealthy way. You think that receiving means I have to wait for someone else to give me what I need. And here is our brand new sexy dexy definition of receiving. I give myself what I need, and everyone else can add on to my surplus. I can ask for what I need, but if they don't give that to me, I am fully capable of giving that to myself. I have decided to live the best life I can. And because I do, I surround myself with people who do the same thing. And it's a natural back and forth. Receiving is great. Receiving is great. You should, I'm saying should, you should learn how to receive. That would require you to go back to your patterns of why receiving was scary in your childhood and to rewire that desire. You're overgiving because you refuse to be vulnerable. Brene Brown talks about how vulnerability can feel like death. It can be that scary, like the literal feeling I'm going to die. I had a conversation a few weeks ago with one of my best male friends, and I literally said to him, oh my God, I feel so vulnerable right now. Ooh, I feel so ooey gooey right now. Ooh, this is so difficult to say this. I got off the phone, I felt ooey gooey. I had to go on a walk, I still felt ooey gooey. And I was like, yeah, if you're gonna be vulnerable, you're gonna be ooey gooey. And that's the ooey gooey that changes your life. Allowing yourself to speak the truth. Client I just got off a session with spoke her truth to her partner, and they were able to connect even deeper. That's what it takes. You can't be vulnerable with the wrong people, but the right people want you to be vulnerable, want you to tell them how you need to show up, are willing to even make changes if they need to because they want to be in your life. The right people are that way. The work for your lovers, you need to give them the middle finger and be out. Okay. So what do you do about it? You hire a coach to get another perspective. You go to a therapist, you join a membership that deals with people pleasing. There's so much out here. You go on YouTube and you go down a rabbit hole of overgiving. You learn everything you can about it. I talked to you about this earlier, observing the pause. I'll get back to you. Let me think on this. Give me 24 hours. I need a few days to think this over. I'm not sure I can take that on, but let me think about it. And like what you need to know is that you're going to feel uncomfortable. Part of that anxiety, this is what I didn't say about you overgive because you're anxious. You want to quickly get over something. You want to quickly give an answer so you don't have to feel the anxiety of a decision. So you don't have to feel the anxiety of what they're thinking. If you observe the pause, it will be uncomfortable until you do it enough and it is part of your regular programming. Okay? You're going to have a difficult conversations. Difficult conversations. Hey, I've been paying your rent for the last year. This month is going to be the last month. Or I'm going to give you 2 more months and then you're going to need to figure this out. Figuring it out might be that they pay half the rent. Figuring it out might be that they get a roommate. But you're going to have to believe that you are not the solver of all the problems. That is part of the control. I have to be the solver of all the problems because I feel good about being the solver of all the problems, but I'm really pissed off that I'm the solver of all the problems because I can never relax because I'm the solver of all the problems. Gonna have to have some boundaries. Gonna have to disappoint some people maybe. Plan your gives. When I was a teaching artist, I used to get contacted all the time to do benefits, to do free things. And I mean, I don't know, I think I did 4 a year. And then I would say to them, hey, I have my 4 benefits, already scheduled for this year. If you want me to put you on the docket potentially for next year, if you want to reach out for me, I can give you the names of other people. But I had to plan my gives because literally my shit would ring every week with somebody wanting me to do something. And I had to, provide for myself. I had to pay bills. I had to do all those things. Okay. So thinking about, I'm going to give $100 to other sources this month. And after that's gone, then that's gone. Tithing is when you give with no expectation attached to it. When you give from the purity of, I just want to give. And it's that idea of, Robert Ohotto talked about this in his talk, is that giving that inspires and feels great. And for some of my business owners, that means y'all need to raise your prices. That means y'all need to find a way to work with less clients and charge more. That means you need to figure out a way to do more with less. Wait, do less. You know what I'm saying? You need to figure out a way to be doing less work and making more money. That means some of us are going to have to leave a job that we've been in for a job that gives us a raise or respects us or does all these things. It's overgiving to tolerate someone's fucking shitty ass behavior. That is overgiving. You might have to take a moratorium on talking to people. That's one of my things on here. Not take a moratorium on talking to people, but take a moratorium on giving. For the next 30 days, I'm only giving to myself. I'm only supporting up close myself. Okay. Come up with some giving ground rules. Like, if I don't loan money, I give this much money. 3 times a year, I give this amount of money to this organization, or, you know, I surprise one of my friends with giving to something for them every other year. Come up with some things like, are there organizations, charities, GoFundMe, you know, like come up with some ground rules about what feels good in terms of giving. And hey, sometimes when you come up with ground rules, you come up with them and you do half the ground rules, or you just try to implement a rule, and then you continue to put in those ground rules, okay? This is what I used to do. I used to go on Facebook and I'd be like, don't nobody ask for nothing. Because I was pissed by that time because I had been asked for so many things. Announce you're going on a giving moratorium. You don't even have to. Just be like, I would love to, but I'm just not able to right now. You know, maybe like I'm taking the next 6 months. You don't have to over explain. Overgiving is over explaining too. Did I say that? Overgiving is over explaining. You don't even got to explain it. But you can just say, oh, I'm not able to right now, but I wish you the best. Okay. Like, you can journal about your giving moratorium. You can journal about your anger. You can journal about getting over your thing. Okay. You don't have to always over explain. Get comfortable with people being mad at you for being you. Maybe the way you give it to yourself is now you are ending a marriage, or you are coming out, you know, and you're living a lifestyle that feels more aligned with you, or you are leaving an organization, or this is what people do. In midlife, people become more them, and they have to allow folks to feel how they feel about it. Working through a coach, therapist helps with this, okay? Overgive to your damn self. Overgive to yourself. Take yourself on a vacation, take a class, buy the things you want, create a budget, go on walks. Like, there are free ways to overgive to yourself. There are 5-star ways to give to yourself. Create some new goals. Lose the weight you say you wanted to lose for the last 3 decades. Like, learn that you are the recipient of your things. Overgive to your if you overgave to yourself for a year, 3 months, your life would change exponentially, okay? I want you to also look for the credit. Look for the ways you've changed. Look for the ways you used to do this, like hobosexuals. You know, someone put that on Facebook the other day and I laughed. I was like, I entertained so many hobosexuals in my 20s, dudes who didn't have anywhere to live, so they could come and live with me. Not so many. That's a joke. It was 1 or 2 that did me in, and I was good after that. Okay. I would never do that now. See how you've grown. Give yourself credit. Stop delaying overgiving. Stop it now. Find a way to stop it now. Okay. All right, y'all. So remember, if you want to be coached by me, go to kimarrington.com. There's a tab that's you can join my wait list. I'll ask you a couple of questions. When I have an opening, I'll reach out to you. And I just want to also shout out that in the new year, I will be creating a weight loss program, inviting you to it so you can change your life. So you're changing your life and the weight loss comes, okay? So y'all, this thing right here, this letting go of overgiving will change your freaking life. I am spending October, November, December, January, February, March, April. This is my big goal for the next couple of months, is identifying where I'm overgiving and deciding that I can make change. Even a small 1% change can do wonders, okay? I didn't even say, okay, I am going to give an honorable mention of overgiving. You overgive because society tells you that you have to behave in a certain way. This is for men, especially. You have to watch what society says is acceptable and not acceptable, because shit, society don't live in your damn house. All right, I just had to give that honorable mention. All right, y'all. Have a good day. Look at this. Look, your homework is to look at this and decide what you want to do about it. Awareness first, observation, and then deciding what you want to do about it. Okay. And I'm here to help if you need me. All righty. Have a good one.
Are you feeling what you just heard? Good, good. Repeat after me. You don't have to figure it out on your own again anymore. I'm here to help. Head over to KimArrington.com and download my free video series dedicated to getting you feeling your best right now. Look around, there's some good stuff waiting on you. Got questions? Well, we're always talking on the socials, so find me on YouTube, Insta, and the book. Don't be shy, y'all. Go listen to another episode or join me here the same time next week. Finally, don't keep good shit to yourself. Share this with a homie that could use some help too. Remember, we're not lying to ourselves anymore. We're not lying to our doctors, and you damn sure don't lie to your life coach.